Good morning friends. Last lecture we have to discuss about the synthesis of Fe2O3. Okay, in this lecture we have to discuss the last point of the nanomaterial is about the synthesis of the porous silica. Synthesis of porous silica. This is the last nanomaterial we have to discuss in this procedure and the synthesis of the nanomaterial. Okay, therefore its aim is about to obtain the porous silicon and study its photoluminescence. Okay, the synthesis of porous silicon, its aim is about the obtain the porous silicon, means you have to obtain the porous silicon. That porous silicon, it is the study of photoluminescence, means this porous silicon, it is the study of photoluminescence, means you have to firstly to obtain the porous silicon. Okay, aim it is says that you have to firstly to obtain the porous silicon and it study its photoluminescence, means porous silicon's photoluminescence you have to study in this experiment. Okay, secondly, the chemical, which chemical you have to use in this experiment? First is the silicon substrate as a anode mode. Okay, the silicon substrate as a anode mode, means you have to take the silicon substrate. Silicon means substrate means what? Different types of the silicon containing the component, that is known as the silicon substrate. Okay, this silicon substrate you have to use as a chemical in synthesis of porous silica. Okay, secondly, the graphite or the platinum electrode. Okay, graphite or platinum electrode as a cathode. You have to know about the graphites. Okay, that graphite, it is a carbon containing compound, that is the graphite or platinum electrode cathode. Okay, graphite or platinum electrode cathode as a chemical you have to use in the synthesis of porous silica. Okay, thirdly, hydrofluoric acid. It is in 48% hydrofluoric acid as a chemical you have to use in synthesis of porous silicon. Then fourth is the ethanol, acetone and the distilled water for the cleaning the substrate, means ethanol, acetone and the distilled water, means that chemical you have to use in the washing the substrate, means cleaning the substrate, means your formation of the substrate. Therefore you have to substrate are cleaning by this ethanol, acetone and distilled water chemical. Okay, this is all about the chemical you have to use in synthesis of porous silicon. Okay, secondly, the equipment. Okay, which equipment we have to use in this synthesis of porous silicon? Okay, therefore the firstly, the Teflon holder for the electrochemical etching of the substrate. Okay, this is the Teflon. Okay, that is the Teflon holder. Okay, this side part is a Teflon holder and that Teflon holder for the electrochemical etching of substrate, means this Teflon holder, it is useful for the electrochemical etching substrate, means this Teflon holder, it is useful for electrochemical etching substrate, means those substrate have the etching, those substrate have the electrochemical etching. Therefore you have to use the Teflon holder equipment in the synthesis of porous silicon. Then secondly, the voltmeter and ammeter. Voltmeter and the ammeter for measuring the volt and current. Okay, you have to know about the voltmeter and the ammeter. That voltmeter, it is denoted to measure the volt, and ammeter, it is a measure the ammeter, it is a measure the current. Ammeter, it is measure the current. Okay, this is the second equipment. Third equipment is about the power supply to this Teflon holder, that is a power supply. That power supply, its voltage is about 24 volts and its current is about the 30 milliampere. Okay, this is the power supply. And fourthly, electrochemical cells. Means this all the equipment you have to use to synthesis of the porous silica. Okay, then look at this diagram. That diagram shows the experiment setup for the porous silica formation, means this is the experiment setup. Okay, this experiment setup you have to formation of porous silicon. Okay, look at this experimental setup. That experiment setup, it shows that you have to look at this outer part, it is a Teflon cell. Okay, outer part is a Teflon cell. Then this is the graphite electrode. Okay, this is the graphite electrode. Then this is the HF(H2) ethanol, means this is the HF(H2) ethanol. This is the chemical. Okay, that chemical, it is cleaning the substrate into this liquid, cleaning the substrate into this Teflon cell. Therefore it is as HF(H2) ethanol. Okay, this is the experiment setup for the porous silicon formation. Okay, then we have to discuss the procedure of the synthesis of porous silica. Okay, firstly, that the clean the porous silica substrate. Clean the porous silica substrate with the ethanol, acetone and the dry under dinitrogen flow. Okay, therefore the clean the porous silica. Okay, that the porous silica substrate, that substrate with the ethanol, means the porous silica substrate you have to clean. Porous silica substrate you have to clean by the ethanol, acetone and the dry. Ethanol and acetone, this chemical, it is useful for clean the porous silica substrate, and you have to dry under dinitrogen flow, means after the cleaning of porous silica substrate, therefore this substrate you have to dry under dinitrogen flow. Okay, then you have to take the HF(H2) ethanol. Okay, this is the HF(H2) ethanol H2 water in the ratio of 1:2:1, means 1 ratio of the HF, 2 ratio of the ethanol and 1 ratio of the water, means this ratio you have to take in the plastic container. Okay, look at this, take the HF(H2) ethanol H2 water in the ratio of 1:2:1, this ratio in plastic container, means हा जो ratio आहे, that ratio means HF(H2) ethanol H2 this ratio you have to containing into the plastic container, and therefore it is a place the silica water in the Teflon cell. Okay, place the silica water, means you have to take the Teflon holder. In this Teflon holder, therefore you have to take this silica water in this Teflon holder. This is the Teflon holder. In this Teflon holder you have to take the silica water. Okay, that silica water in Teflon cell, and it is connected to the anode of ammeter. Okay, look at this Teflon cell, and that in the Teflon cell, therefore it is connected to the anode cell, that is the anode. Okay, that's Teflon cell, it is connected to the anode cell. Okay, anode of the ammeter. Then connect the graphite or the platinum electrode as a cathode. Okay, look at this, connect the graphite or the platinum electrode as a cathode, means graphite or the platinum electrode, it is connected to the cathode. Okay, then pass the current of the 30 mega ampere, pass the current of 30 mega ampere at voltage is about 24 volt, at the voltage is about 24 volt for the 30 minutes, means 30 minutes you have to pass the current of 30 mega ampere and the voltage is about 24 volt. Okay, then remove the substrate, and wash with ethanol several times. Wash with ethanol several times, means after the current passing, after current and voltage passing, therefore you have to remove the substrate, and that substrate it is washed with ethanol, means that substrate it is washed with ethanol several times, means 4 to 5 times you have to wash the removable substrate. Okay, therefore after the washing, after the several times of washing, therefore the red luminescence observed. Okay, therefore the red luminescence particles are observed in your Teflon cell. Red luminescence particles are observed in your Teflon cell, and that the substance is exposed to UV light, means the red luminescence substance are exposed in UV lights, and it indicate the formation of porous network, means therefore red luminescence, that red luminescence we are to observe when the substance, means the red luminescence substance are exposed in UV light. means these red luminescent substance are exposed in UV light, and that UV light it indicate the formation of porous network. That UV light it indicate the formation of porous network. Okay, this is the procedure of synthesis of porous silicon. And lastly, that is about the result of this experiment. Okay, result of this experiment, that the first point is about the luminescence but the porous silicon glows in the visible range. Okay, you have to know about the luminescence. You have to know about the तुम्ही माईच्या खाणीमध्ये लाईट्स प्रकाशित करण्यासाठी, लाईट पडण्यासाठी ज्या कांड्या असतात लाईटच्या, ओके, ग्लो स्टिक्स काय म्हणतो आपण त्याला, ग्लो स्टिक. तर त्या ग्लो स्टिकमध्ये हे लुमिनेसन्स असतात. लुमिनेसन्ससाठी तुम्ही ती ग्लो स्टिक जर ब्रेक केल्यानंतर काय होतं, एक प्रकारचा लाईट तयार होतो. ते लाईट कशामुळे तयार होतं, बिकॉज यू हॅव टू विजिबल लाईट ऑन दिस सबस्टन्सेस. That substances is a porous. Okay, that substances is a porous, therefore your light is spreading outside. Okay, your light is spreading outside, that is known as the luminescence. That luminescence but the porous silicon glows in visible range from blue to red color. Means this result says that about the luminescence, your luminescence but the porous silicon, that porous silicon it is a glows in visible range. Means this porous silicon it is a glows in visible range, and that from blue to red color. Means porous silicon is a visible range, and that range is a blue to green color. Blue to red color. Means visible range काय आहे, सिलिकॉन अँड द पोरस सिलिकॉनची जी विजिबल रेंज आहे, दॅट विजिबल रेंज इज अ ब्ल्यू टू रेड कलर, अँड इट इज डिपेंडिंग अपॉन सिलिकॉन सबस्टन्स अँड द कंडिशन. मीन्स दिस रेंज, okay, this range it is a depending upon the silicon substance and its condition. Means the color ची जी range असेल, that is a blue to red color, that range it is a depending upon the silicon substance. Means silicon substance वरती काय असते, depend असते, and the condition and its condition. Okay, therefore it is a figure of the excitation and the emission spectra of the porous. Okay, dash shows that the shows that the excitation spectra, and the lineup it shows that the emission spectra. Okay, this is the excitation and the emission spectra of this synthesis of porous silica. And lastly, the broad luminescence band located about 700 nanometer. Means your broad luminescence, okay, look at this 700, at 700, therefore the broad luminescence peak are observed. Okay, at 700 nanometer wavelength, this is the 700 nanometer, your broad luminescence peak are observed. Broad luminescence band peak are observed on 700 nanometer. Okay, this is all about the synthesis of the porous silicon, and therefore this point is over. That is about the procedure and the synthesis of the nanomaterial. Okay, therefore next time we have to discuss the introduction of the synthesis of solid, and then the common reaction are employed in the state. Okay, thank you.